welcome to Crashing Game Night. My name is Matt Diorio. Gerard's started off real easy tonight.
He's sharing about his guilty pleasure. So what is this guilty pleasure, sir?
I really wish I didn't. This is going to be my intro.
You're teasing it. You got to share.
I was watching too much of my guilty pleasure, and I'm gonna tell you. You know what? I'm gonna tell you all with confidence. I watch Total Bellas and the Bella Twins reality TV shows.
I mean, you got John Cena, you got the Bella Twins. I don't blame you. That's fine.
Okay.
Actually, if you said Kardashians, I would judge you.
Still have John Cena on
hard.
Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah,
but they split. They've been split up a long time.
He's engaged to someone else, but I'm watching the reruns. So
oh Lord.
So that's the bad part.
So as always, we're also joined by the babyface Theo Walski.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And the Lion's Mane, Jason Validio, holding down the couch.
Going, guys? How's it going tonight? What's up, all my fellow nerds? Because Jerry didn't get that in.
Yeah.
I know, right?
This was a different intro.
Thank you. Embarrassing himself.
But the audience missed it.
Yeah,
I'm going to call out Jerry, and Jerry used nerds as a bad term.
Yeah.
No,
mister, like it was a bad thing.
No, it's the indication, and then hey, how's it going? Because I'm a nerd. It's the old switcheroo.
Okay.
I'm different.
Switch.
I'm weird.
Good old bait and switch.
That's why you fit in so well, sir.
That's why
you fit in so well.
Nerd. So, guys, how's it going?
How is the week been? Well, Jerry, you've had a productive day today.
I had a very lovely day. My eldest sister and her 3 beautiful daughters, my nieces, came into town, and we went to the Arizona Zoo, and it was awesome. It got a little hot, but
you spoiled the hell out of them, didn't you?
Yeah. I bought them some plushies, and bought them some sugar drinks and coffee, and
I bet their mom loved that.
Actually, she was all for it because we're on vacation. It's fine. Let them run. Let them get tired and run ragged. And
yeah, that's what the zoo's for, man.
Oh, dude, yeah. We walked like quite a bit because it's big. It's really big.
I don't think I've ever been to San Diego Zoo.
Oh, dude, that's actually me and my wife went there.
Oh, Phoenix Zoo. Sorry.
Yeah,
actually,
San Diego's cool, but super cheap, and like even the activities. Like we fed the stingrays, we got to pet them and everything. It was like $4 a person.
No way.
No joke,
sir. $4 is like not even a water bottle at San Diego Zoo, sir.
Right.
I mean, it's Phoenix. People don't want to be outside.
Everybody wants to be near water. But yeah, it was like everything was super affordable. It was nothing like the LA Zoo because like that is an arm and a leg to go to. It's like going to Disneyland now. Going to the LA Zoo. It's crazy.
It is, man. It kind of
Jeez. Hey, Newman's back.
Oh,
Newman, we missed you. And he's starting off strong. Figured I would take a break for a week or two. Has Jerry finished it yet? Maybe the increased pressure helped.
Oh, come on, Newman. You know the answer to that.
You know the answer to that, Newman. You know the answer to that.
It's just the same answer as have we played Sekiro since?
Yeah.
Excuse me. I am currently playing it. I haven't finished it, but I'm playing it.
Oh my god.
I mean, Newman, does he get points for making progress?
But he's at the last chapter. How much more progress do you get?
Oh, actually, he wasn't at the last chapter.
That's the thing. I should have explained. I wasn't at the last chapter.
Oh.
Yes.
I thought I was. I thought I was at chapter 18 because I thought there were a lot more chapters, but turns out I was at like 14.
He lied to Newman.
Wow.
Yeah.
Newman.
He lied to everyone.
Except our apologies on behalf of Jerry for lying to you.
Everyone.
Okay. Okay. Or some would say mistaken. but why go easy on me? Huh?
Exactly.
Why?
Never go easy on you.
I mean,
you have not earned it.
No, I set myself up. I don't earn it. No. Right. I get it.
So real quick, I want to take this opportunity really quick to thank everybody who tuned in last week. We had almost 100 people that actually watched us last week. So thank you very much for that.
Crazy.
And then
man.
we've also had you know, a ton of people that have gone back and rewatched that episode and have really commented on, you know, what it meant to them to actually for us to shine that spotlight on what's going on in the Final Fantasy community. And I think it's going around just for anything right now. I mean, there's so much hate going on, and we are going to talk about that with Twitch's new policies a little bit later on in the show. But yeah, thank you for everybody that tuned in last week and hung around to with Soldier and Unileska on the show and whatnot. So
lots of great people in the chat last week.
Yeah, it was
so involved in chat,
which was great.
It was so awesome.
It was like it was kind of new for us because like there were so many people commenting like, oh, like we really gotta answer these questions and interact.
And we tried as much as we could. Yeah, so,
but it was fun. That was great.
Yeah, it was absolutely great. So thank you guys once again, and to thank everybody on that we've been on this journey with and stuff with everything we've announced this year, and looking forward to what's to come. So, let's get started, because although there's not a ton to talk about there, but within each of the things tonight is actually a lot to talk about. So, first things first, get out of the way. Borderlands has cast Atlas, who is the weapons dealer. Those who are fans of Borderlands know there are the different brands. Atlas is one of them, and it's going to be played by Edgar Ramirez. He was Ares in Wrath of the Titans and Bodhi in Point Break Remake. So I think he fits the mold really well for Atlas.
He does.
Yep. So outside of that, the one thing I want to talk about for a few is Falcon and Winter Soldier. So
yes,
we know Jason's not really watching it. So.
Nope.
But
stop bringing out more MCU. Like, I'm tired of going backwards in the timeline. Like, I watched.
This isn't backwards in the timeline. This is forward in the timeline.
This is actually
forward. It was WandaVision.
Wasn't this supposed to be the end of it like a few years ago or like a year ago?
No,
this
is
current.
After Endgame.
This is absolutely current.
This
is after Endgame. Yeah.
Cockamamie BS, man. Just like,
why? It's great. It's great writing.
Dude, this is honestly,
you got to give it a chance.
I see how they're trying to like bridge it all together. Cool, but I mean, like, it's still too much, just nonstop MCU, just drilling it at you.
I honestly like it this way.
So would you rather them continuing postponing the movies where we don't get any of the MCU movies?
Give me a break. Like, give me like a good 3 to 6 month break.
Okay,
it's like right after WandaVision ended, boom, Falcon Winter Soldier.
Yeah, and
I
then
mean, how long of a break did you have from Endgame to WandaVision?
Yeah,
you had a long break from Endgame to WandaVision.
Oh my god,
yeah, it's awesome.
But not
WandaVision, Winter Soldier, and then, dude, have you seen the trailers for Loki? It looks awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The Time Police are coming into the MCU. It's broadening the MCU in so many ways. It's going to be great.
The thing I do love about this is that it's a waterfall type of release instead of something like Arrowverse, where you have 4 series at the same time crossing over.
Same stuff, yeah.
Right.
No, please don't do that.
That actually made me stop watching all of that because
and it's only 6. It's 6 episodes.
Yeah. Perfect.
So,
amount. Or like
always
9.
miniseries.
I'm digging actually Falcon and Winter Soldier in some ways a little bit more than WandaVision. I loved WandaVision, but the writing for Falcon and Winter Soldier is really good. I like what they're talking about, because WandaVision, they talked about depression, anxiety, mental
it's just a different subject. I mean, they're really focusing on a different subject.
This
great about
they're talking about racism and tackling a lot of what we see, going on with Black Lives Matter and whatnot. They're talking about how veterans are treated when they come back, from war and stuff like that. And I love kind of where they're going with it. The latest episode we had Zemo back. And trust me, that scene where they walk into the club is turned into like meme heaven right now.
Heaven. Yeah.
I just saw one on TikTok too.
Did you see the TikTok where they did the What Is Love song from Night at the Roxbury.
Yes.
And he's just sitting there going,
oh my god.
and
No, I didn't see that one.
Oh my god, it's the Watanabe Brothers.
It's just the best dance to go to it too.
Yeah, right. But I like, and Wyatt Russell is perfect as Captain America, and honestly, I'm waiting for him to break. And I'm waiting for him to break hardcore.
Well, he's not gonna.
As the
not
character
gonna break
or the actor?
No, as the character.
Well,
he's not going to break until the end of the series. That's the whole point. That's when he becomes U.S. agent. I
actually kind of think that he'd break in a movie before the series.
I'm thinking he's going to break next episode, or he's going to break episode 5, because I think episode 6 you can't just go from him breaking to
that's
Falcon getting the shield.
You're right. I agree. I agree. Because I completely forgot about Zemo, because he's eventually going to be like the person they are after, or the end result, the end villain. No, you're right. I agree. But I think 6th episode.
I don't know. But I agree. So
there's only 6?
Yeah, there's only 6 episodes.
Oh, then
so that's what I'm saying.
I agree.
Episode 4 or 5 is where he actually will break, and like
I would say 5 is when,
because we have that teaser
crazy.
with Sam training with the Shield too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's got to break soon. He's got to.
Well, we don't know if that's if that's earlier, if that's like a memory, because he did have the shield until he
for a little bit
until he turned it into the Smithsonian.
I'm interested to see what they do with like how they take Isaac and Isaac's son, because Isaac's son goes on to be part of what is it, the Young Avengers?
Something like that.
Young or New Avengers, I think.
Which has got Scarlet Witch's kids.
Yep.
It's got Isaac's son.
It's Falcon.
And then the new Falcon.
Yeah.
Not actual like Sam Falcon, but the new actual Falcon. So it'll be interesting to see where they take this after it. But to Jerry's point, I'm looking forward to Loki too. That just looks like it's going to be fun.
Oh my gosh,
it's going to be so funny.
Him and Owen Wilson are so funny.
They have great chemistry. First of all, with Owen Wilson and Hiddleston, but after the
I'm skeptical.
I'm super interested now. Did you guys see that snippet with Scarlet Widow or
Scarlet Witch? Or
Black Widow. Black Widow.
Oh no, I didn't see.
And Loki's sitting next to her.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So that might.
And I think this plays into kind of what Jason. I know Jason's kind of like, well, he needs a break and stuff, but it ties right into Endgame with the Supreme Sorcerer, who basically says
like the stepping stones. Those are cool. It's just this like they said, the waterfall. Like, here's one series. Okay, here's the next series. Here's like, I know it's that little gap for the big movies. That's fine, but I think they're just drilling so many things in such a short time period that I feel overwhelmed still. Like, even though it's like a 6-episode miniseries, they cram so much information. They cram so many like little details.
Yeah.
That
you kind of get overwhelmed. Like, I can't watch it as just a regular TV show. It's very hard to.
So you prefer to just wait until it's all out and then just watch it as a whole?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Like, I mean,
I get that because
it's still going, right? It's still weekly right now, right?
Yeah, it's weekly.
Yeah,
like a normal TV show.
Yeah,
like it's just.
And I get that because they are episodic.
I enjoy having that story from start to finish, rather than like this, like build up and then let's break down like every 5 minutes in the scene. Like, I can't.
Let me preface this then to follow that up on the overwhelming part of it. So, would you feel overwhelmed by having not only Spider-Man 3 coming out, but also rumors that Sony is talking to Sam Raimi and Tobey Maguire about doing Spider-Man 4?
I mean, like, if Spider-Man 3 comes out, normally they start the next movie like around
the same time.
But if they start coming out with all these different because you also have Enter the Spider-Verse 2, which we know they're still they're working on that.
They're working on it now.
You've got the new Tom Holland Spider-Man 3. Then if they do Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire, who's to say they won't do another Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield?
Yeah, but you'd
start looking at that.
But to Jason's point, they'd still be spread out. You're not going to have them like overlap.
But the other thing is, technically,
go ahead.
Technically, if those movies do come out, they can still be considered from the past with the new Spider-Man opening up the verse.
They're talking about them. So they're talking about them taking place after everything that's about to happen.
Yeah. So they're not bridging from 3 to 4. It's a completely new movie.
It's going to be like they're going to go back into the other universe.
Okay, they're not
that movie
starting where they left off or anything like that.
But it gives you time to.
Then that's
different. Gives you time to get hype. You know, like it's one thing when you just constantly just throw like, hey, check this out, check this out, check this out. I'm kind of like over it a little. Like I just like, okay, I can take a break from this. Like when you watch a TV show that you love to watch, it goes on a summer break or a winter break. You know, and then you have that time to like,
or COVID break.
Or COVID break. But you have that time to be like, hey, you know what? Like, oh, dude, it's coming back. It's coming back.
But we had that lull. We had that lull right after home or Far From Home. That we had.
How long was it from
nothing?
How long was it from WandaVision to Falcon?
Okay, well, think of it this way, though. Think of it this way.
They're doing it back to back.
Jason, since it's technically different shows, but what if you thought of it as one show that's connected? So we were only in 10 episodes out of a normal 22 episode series or season.
Fair. Yeah.
So I mean, wouldn't you just kind of shift it over to a different time?
There you go and be illogical.
Hey, Theo puts out a good point. That's why I listen.
So
cheers.
To me though, I think
well said.
I still feel that it's weird because it's pulling that crash theory where it's like this is one piece of universe and then here's another piece.
Fair enough.
You know, eventually I feel it's going to tie all together in this moment.
And I think it's all going to end up leading into Doctor Strange and the multiverse.
It's like us, man. You know, like
here's
if I have a series, you have a series, Jerry has a series, Thea, and then all of a sudden, like we're like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have that.
You gotta have the team up move. You gotta have it all come together.
See, I would rather had it for like 12 years for the whole Marvel Avenger thing, and then we're like,
no,
okay,
I want more.
I would rather have this than what Sony's looking at doing with Spider-Man, because to me it's like,
I agree,
because to me it's like I can't wait for Spider-Man 3. You know, let's get the Spider-Verse,
the Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Tom Holland, we'll get them all together. But then the fact is that they're looking at doing Venom 2.
Oh, that's already slated.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm just ticking it all off, right? You got Venom 2. You got Into the Spider-Verse 2. You got rumors of Spider-Man 4, which will be in the Tobey Maguire universe. Going through that round, I mean, what if they end up doing an Andrew Garfield one? Then you've got 4 movies that they're potentially going to be looking at. It's like at some point it becomes overload, you know. And I think that's the one thing that worries me for opening up the multiverse, is that you start having all these branches off. Because like you look at DC, right? They have come out and said that the Batman is going to take place on Earth 2.
Okay.
Which is completely different from where the main universe is for the DCEU.
They're all over the place.
And they're going with a multiverse type theory and stuff like that, which then, you know, you're going to have Flashpoint and having now potentially different Batman and one movie. And I think you have to kind of step back and go, okay,
but would you?
It's enough. Now, would you
be okay? But would you be okay if like you have this overwhelming amount of like branches for the same story to come alive or whatever? But if you had an inkling that like an end game was going to happen for the DCU, would you be okay with it?
Here's where with the MCU that I think the end game is with kind of doing WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier, Loki, and I think Loki's going to be a bigger part of this. Is I think this is all going to tie into Kang the Conqueror,
no,
who's been rumored to be the new villain, and he's a time traveler.
But that's what I mean. Like you're shifting to a whole another big story and ending a good amount of branches, but still keeping something alive. So that's what I'm saying. Like with like the Spider-Man, like maybe branches are going to go over, but maybe they have like a multiverse collapse. It's Endgame type of deal.
It's Sony.
But that's the other problem though, is because the MCU, you're talking about a multiple amount of characters. With Sony, like Matt said, it's all Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Now, my fear is that it's going to get so convoluted and so oversaturated that people are going to get tired of it, especially on the Sony side, because everyone's in love with Tom Holland, including me. I think he's doing a great job, and I can't wait for 3. But
he's very attractive.
He's a handsome guy. He's a handsome guy. But Sony has been very vocal that they want to keep that franchise. And they are thinking of, I mean, they were already thinking of other ways to keep the franchise alive, doing just a Sinister Six movie. How? Without Spider-Man, how? So now that they see the success from those other movies, I wouldn't be surprised that those are going to happen. And I think it's just going to get, I think we're going to get oversaturated with Spider-Man.
Correct.
Character. MCU is still good, itself. But with the character itself, I think they're going to oversaturate it. And people are going to get tired, which sucks because Spider-Man's, one of the greatest characters.
I love what they've done with Spider-Man as after the involvement of, Marvel, right?
Yeah.
The
way they
to Newman's point
was all awesome.
Newman said some of us are already over Spider-Man, and I can absolutely see that.
That sucks.
I could see that.
It sucks.
Thanks to Spider-Man 3.
And
Amazing Spider-Man 2, I would say. Those
are
high contributors.
We'll definitely see what happens there. But I think Falcon and Winter Soldier, I think, is great. It's going to tie up some loose ends on Endgame, prep some things for the future.
That's the greatest thing. Like you said, each series has like an underlying theme. WandaVision was depression and like that.
Yep.
Winter Soldier, PTSD, racism, kind of currently what we're going through. And now I'm really interested what the theme is, the underlying theme is going to be with Loki.
Oh, that's a good point.
Because him as a character, we're going to
Loki's, I think part of his is going to be how badly he screwed up the timeline by taking the Tesseract.
Right. But think about this though. He isn't the Loki that we're used to from Endgame and Thor Ragnarok.
No,
he's the Loki that was trying to take over Earth and started New York. So this is going to be a whole new journey for him.
New York, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. So this is going to be a whole new journey for him, and we're going to see like how his progression goes. So it's probably a new progression, but I'm really interested in Loki. I think it's going to be exceptional.
So let's talk some gaming news.
Yeah.
So E3's back. Sort of.
Back again. E3's back.
Shady's back. Tell a friend. So with that, they have kind of updated the website. Kind of share that with everybody here is it's nice to see who's actually involved with this. So Nintendo, which that's pretty much a given because they've been pretty much at all the
they've been
E3s for quite a while. They've been crushing E3 for ages now.
Yeah,
you do have Xbox, you have Capcom, Konami, Ubisoft, Take-Two, Warner Brothers.
They've been very consistent through. Like they might have a small presence, but they've been consistent.
Now, when you look at who's missing, on the other hand, is PlayStation, which will probably do a state of play over the summer. You have Square Enix, who is looking at moving to a all digital format. But in the statement from E3, it reads, for those that are just listening on the podcast, instead of watching it on twitch.tv Crashing Game Night, is that it's game on for E3 as the Entertainment Software Association officially unveils plans for a reimagined all-virtual E3 2021 that will engage video game fans everywhere with early commitments from Nintendo, Xbox, Capcom, Konami, Ubisoft, Take-Two, Warner Brothers, Koch Media, and more to come. E3 2021 will take place between June 12th through June 15th. So that's taking place right about the same time, actually, as the normal E3 does. Yep. Case in point, for those that have listened to the show, they know that this is generally taking place around the time of my anniversary. And I have gotten enough crap for it, and I will always get crap for it. So developers will be showcasing their latest news and games directly to fans around the world. The ESA will be working with media partners globally to help amplify and make this content available to everyone for free. So real side note with that, a rumor was that there was going to be a paywall for it, which that has now, been confirmed that's not happening. Mm-hmm. For more than 2 decades, E3 has been the premier venue to showcase the best that the video game industry has to offer while uniting the world through games, said Stanley Pierre-Louis, who is the president and CEO of the ESA. We are evolving this year's E3 into a more inclusive event, but we'll still look to excite the fans with major reveals and insider opportunities that make this event the indispensable center stage for video games, while maintaining E3's long-standing position as a central destination for industry networking, where new partnerships and connections between video game publishers, developers, and media are made. The digital format for E3 2021 means more people than ever can participate. The ESA looks forward to coming back together to celebrate E3 2022 in person, which second that opens up, we will be applying.
We will be applying.
Mm-hmm. I would love for us to be able to get media passes to 2022. That's something we earned for 2020. So in the meantime, see you online this June. So for me, I absolutely love seeing that news that we are getting E3 back. Now here's the thing is, I've seen some around, like I was watching Khalif's show last night, Spawn on Me, when he was doing the live feed on that. And he says it's like, how relevant really is E3 anymore? Because Jeff Keighley has pretty much taken over, and done his, Summer Game Fest and all of that. But here's my thing is I get it. You want to do these digital events, get it out to the people, but nothing replaces being there in person, being able to talk to the devs. Because God, over the years, because we've been going since 2014. Theo, you started in 2013. Jerry, you guys were kind of about that time. We all met in 2014. Yeah. But since going from there, is we've been able to talk to devs, right? I can remember when we were doing The Order, and it was that small dev team from that was there from Ready at Dawn, and we were able to talk to one of the developers for the game. It's the same thing when you look at granted Cyberpunk, it's part of the development team there. It's like when we got to see the Lord of the Rings game, Shadow of War, and stuff like that, and those were the developers. So getting to see these guys on, they're doing their presentations, being able to talk to them briefly after the presentation about different things, their thought is, you cannot get that with an all digital event. You're not going to be able to do that.
Because you only have very small amount of people that are actually working the event or participating in the event.
Absolutely. And the other thing that I look at too is like, honestly, E3 is responsible for this shenanigans right here.
True.
Pretty much.
And that's the thing, is a lot of people have met some really good people, and friends and stuff. Honestly, when we look back at it, Jerry, it was happenstance. You were standing right behind me, and we just happened to start talking. That's it. And and the first year it was like, hey, let's hook up next year.
I think you were talking movies, and I
was talking to Tester.
That's right. You were talking Tester, and then I mentioned Skydiddy.
And then we said, hey, here we swapped PSN.
He's here.
We swapped PSN information. We said, hey, let's keep in touch. We kind of kept in touch off and on for that first year, and then we made plans for 2015. Hey, this is where we're all going to hook up. You know,
yeah, that's when Scott went with us, right?
Scott went with us, and we
that was
ditched
when
him.
I first met Scott too.
Hold on, and then we ditched him to go to the Bethesda press conference. And we get back, right? We got back, and he was hammered.
Yes, he was.
Oh, I remember you told me that. Yeah,
but we were on the hotel, the Hilton that we were at. That he walked to the bar and walked back, but it's like a 40-degree.
It is a
steep hill.
So, Jerry,
for half a mile to get up to the hotel.
Jerry, you know where like Universal
hammered.
is?
Universal, yeah.
Okay, you know that big giant hill?
Oh yeah.
Where there's the Sheraton on the halfway up the hill, and
that's where you guys were staying.
We were at the Sheraton. And he walked down the hill to the bars down there.
Oh my god!
That's how much he did not want to stay in the hotel room while he and I were at the Bethesda presser.
Well, you know, and then
that's pretty funny.
We're at the Bethesda
that's
presser.
That's a trek, dude. That's a trek. Yeah.
So we used to do that trek, you know, daily to go down to the subway to take that into down at 7th and Figueroa, and then we walked down to the convention from 7th and Figueroa.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow!
Granted, man, that was some great exercise, man. I lost some weight.
So long, such a long day. That's why we always stop by. Why am I blanking on the restaurant?
We used to do Yard House.
Oh, Yard House.
Yard House. That was our decompressor,
right?
Like I'm not ready for this walk. We gotta go to Yard House, dude.
And that's what I think. That's what I think people don't understand about making it all digital is you don't have stories like this to talk about going with your industry friends to these conventions, meeting up with people. I mean, honestly, we wouldn't have met.
But the other thing was like, and having the opportunity to meet some of those industry people, like we got to meet, you know, kind of funny games, like we got to take a picture with them, and like it's the interaction and really having the open door to speak to those that create.
Yeah. And it's not even the
it's
developers
not the same
themselves,
to do all digital.
Voice actors.
Voice actors. I got to meet Matt Mercer. It was pretty cool.
Jason, you have your annual group for Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I have my group that we all, like, every time E3 comes around, we all hit each other back up.
Yeah,
like,
man.
Hey,
see, that's the beauty of it.
Are you guys jumping in line to get the new shirt?
Hey, if they're in line, you know, I just hit them up like, "Are you in line right now?"
Gotta get the new shirt.
Not even if the new shirt is like it's just a shirt. Like I'll get it for my buddy that couldn't make it, type of deal.
I mean, like,
that's what makes things like E3,
or even
like
conventions,
just in general. You know, it makes it so much more special by being there in person, right?
Yeah. But hopefully they, you know, in 2022, hopefully we go, and hopefully they, you know, kind of revamp and think of something new, because I agree. I think they're a bit dated when it comes to the original.
There's some things absolutely they need to do
they need to fix.
I will,
and you know, hopefully they do rethink their approach.
Do you guys even remember, like, back in the day when you had like Attack of the Show and all those, that the actual gaming network that would
G4
freaking broadcast E3? Yeah, G4 that would broadcast E3.
Yeah. GameSpot was there.
Yeah, that was like the best thing. That's what made me want to go to E3 so bad. It's like, oh, it's this huge, massive thing that everybody gets to see, but then they closed it off.
I think, honestly, for me, I think one of the things in this, you know, is that, and I agree with a lot of people like Paris and whatnot from Gamer Tag Radios, is that once they started introducing the public to it, though, that's where things changed, and that's where the show started declining a little bit. And granted, yes, I know in 2019 we had to go with gamer passes because we didn't qualify for media. I didn't have my industry pass anymore.
Our industries went off.
But here's the thing: is like, how many issues did we have prior to that with lines and everything like that? We all knew how it went.
Yep.
You know,
everybody
was moving from place to place.
I feel like we had to strategize like twice as much.
We did
with it being public,
because we had to decide what we wanted to see the most,
and what we had to sacrifice because we knew the lines were going to be long.
Yeah.
And then we didn't have the issues with, remember, like when we were in Cyberpunk, right? Those couple of people that kept cutting in lines and stuff like that and sneaking in lines. You didn't have that when it was industry and media only.
Yeah,
true.
And
I mean, sometimes we had to do that. We had to hold spots sometimes.
So there was a difference between holding spots and what we saw with those guys with Cyberpunk, which was they were just jumping in line.
They were just jumping in line.
They were just cutting in and whatnot. So I think there needs to be a sweet spot that they need to find. I think in person.
You know what I kind of just thought about, and like I'm just throwing that out there. They should go back to industry and media, and then maybe do a full digital for public, and like have more.
So back to the G4 days.
Kind of,
broadcast and
kind of what made me think of that.
Either that or industry and media get their own like day or two right before you do two.
Or that. Those were also good suggestions.
You're not going to be able to go back on the public, because here's the thing is like,
that's true.
Once the box is open, the box is open.
Well, and you got to think though, it's from a perspective of who's on the show floor from a publisher standpoint, right? You don't have EA there anymore because they're doing EA Play.
Yep.
That's not coming. That's not going to go back, right?
Yeah.
We know that Activision isn't really active with E3 anymore.
Not really.
Capcom has been slowly pulling back their offerings there.
Yeah, Sony's gone.
Sony,
even the last 2 years.
Well, I think Sony could come back.
Capcom,
I think Sony will come back.
Again, as I said previously on our podcast, Capcom, it's not catering to America right now.
Correct.
Right.
That's where I need to say. That's where I need to point. It's not catering to America. There is a huge niche of us in America that do, but it is not like geared towards the run and gun, shoot 'em up, America style.
Yeah.
You know,
that's why I was about to say, like the last 2 years the last couple of years that we have gone, Capcom featured like whatever game that they were promoting.
Hunter. They had
like Monster Hunter or the new Street Fighter or something. Yep. And then they would have like a museum type or showing
which the museum was really cool
games.
Though.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
I'm so sad.
But I agree.
But
anyways,
you know, Square Enix usually shows up, you know.
Square I don't doubt that I have a feeling that they are going to have a small presence this year in the E3.
They're not. Square Enix is planning. They have not said that they're involved with it.
I don't know, because I feel that they're
going
to be.
I wonder if they would come back in 2022, and they're just doing digital right now because
definite. Right now it's just digital. Like Square, I love Square because they always are personal with it. You know, like I know a good 80% of the people that are on the floor for Square. Just because, like, I keep hanging out with them, keep talking to them and stuff like that.
Yeah, he doesn't bring them on the show, but hey,
you know what, sir? But it's
well, exactly.
It's one of those things where it's like, like they want to talk to you. They want to be like, hey, they want to know their fan base, and you know, like
Ubi's the same way.
Yeah, Ubi's the same way.
You know. I mean, heck, Julian Garrity met up with us on the floor. In 2019. And I think Nintendo's the same way too. You know, Nintendo, they always have the big boost. They always make sure they're bringing games. They're, you know, about the players essentially at E3. But
I just think it's right now.
COVID right now. I mean, I think if we were in a different state, you know, 6 months ago, where we had started locking things, or you know, November, we were already having
we had a different ideology a year ago.
Correct. We would be having E3 2021 in person in LA. Unfortunately, that's not how it's going to happen. And I think doing an all digital event is great for them, because it's something they couldn't do last year because there was not enough prep time to do what they needed to do between cancellations and stuff like that. So,
and even now it's not enough prep time,
because even Comic-Con tried to do it last year. Like they were really trying to push for it.
So last year, because of the timings and how the outbreak was happening, right? Because the outbreak really didn't happen until it was March is when we really got our first real cases there in Washington. And it was kind of starting to spread. So you were still within like a 3-month window between when the first outbreaks were happening and when E3 would take place. And then by the time everything just blew up and hit California and things had to shut down, you did not have enough prep time like they have this now.
Yeah.
There's been rumor of them working on an all digital event for months now.
But
so
then
had months of lead time.
everything got set back when we got when we had to close down the second time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think we do need the in-person. And I think, though, to Jason's point, though, and I think what I would like to personally see is that we have 2 days of industry media only. Then we have 2 days that are for the gamer passes. With, if you're part of media and industry, you can go take part of it. You can go out to the floor and whatnot. But at least that gives the gamers on the gamer pass, the opportunity to take part in some of this, because I do know some, I've seen some people on Twitter as we were talking about this, is that there's some of their bucket list items is to go to E3. And I would love for them to be able to do that, because it has been a great,
everyone really should experience it at least once or whenever they can. Yeah.
2019. Yeah. We all agreed with the amount of gamer passes.
You never know who you're going to meet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, John, we've met Sean Layden, a lot of the cast of The Tester, heck, Kadeem Hardison from Different World. We've Dante Basco, who played Rufio in Hook.
That was so awesome.
Rufio.
I was when you text, that was a solid text, bro. When you text me like you need to get over here, that would made my day. That totally made my day.
And then 2019 got to meet Jason Mewes on his birthday, and he sat there, take pictures, talk to me for a minute. So
that was while you're standing in line for Final Fantasy VII, right?
No, that was Cyberpunk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that was Cyberpunk. I saw him walking over. It's like, hey, Jason, happy birthday.
Yeah,
and
he was like, hey, man, you were the first one too. You were the first one.
You were the only one that is wishing me happy birthday on the floor. Now, granted, social media everybody did, but I was like, dude, I follow Kevin Smith. I follow Jason Mewes. It's like I follow them on Twitter and social media, and it was like, yeah, wish the guy happy birthday. What's wrong with that?
Snoochie boochies.
So, it'll be interesting to see what goes into it. So, moving on, and we'll see more in the coming weeks. But the next thing to kind of,
I feel that there's a few more that are going to pop up. Like, they're not going to be as dominant as they have been, but I feel like
not
a few
in
more
all digital format. No.
Yeah. It's plus, how are you gonna you have to buy time slots, I guess, or like how are you gonna I don't know how they're gonna
work it out. We'll figure it out.
We'll find out.
I'm anxious to see how they're gonna allow what they're gonna do different for media and industry, because
I remember reading that they said they were giving almost a few days early for media. It's an extra few days for media for the electronic.
As long as we can get, I'm hoping we can get registered for that and get some access to some early stuff when we talk about it and whatnot. Even with that being said, guys, we'll keep our normal recording schedule. We're not going to do multiple episodes during the week of E3, kind of like we did last year, in the year prior. It'll be, 2019 rather. It's weird saying last E3 was 2019.
Yeah.
But one thing that did come out yesterday that I want to talk about, we kind of talked about it last week, is with, let me get it pulled up here, is around the hate game. And it came out this week that Twitch is going to be going with a new policy regarding harassment and anti-hate. Let me get that. There we go. Let me get that pulled up here and share it with everybody out there.
Pardon the technical difficulties.
No, it's I've got so much going on both screens here. So basically in January, they started kind of enforcing their hateful conduct, harassment speech. But they're looking at taking things a lot further now. They want to shift their focus to how they address severe misconduct that's impacting the Twitch community, but how it impacts it even off Twitch. Okay. So for those that are kind of watching with us and that are going to be listening at home later this weekend, is a lot of times, and we've seen this with a lot of prominent gamers, zombie kills, also Soldier, Unalesca, right?
Yep.
they've seen where, you know, sometimes there's people that come in, they're harassing people during the stream, and then they move to Twitter, Instagram, and they're harassing them there, or they'll make videos about them on YouTube harassing that route. So Twitch is really looking at wanting to try and protect their members. Now, whether or not Twitch actually follows through with this is something entirely different, because we know that they've made policies and it doesn't always come to fruition. But here's your two categories that they're looking at. So category one is if someone is harassed on Twitch, as well as off Twitch. So what they're looking at it is when this happens, they'll take into account verifiable off-service behaviors or statements that relate to the incident that took place on Twitch. So, you know, they show the screen cap, you know, hey, this is what happened on my stream. And then you can see everything going on Twitter and whatnot. So their example was, if you're reviewing a harassment report about an incident that happened live on stream related or continued harassment on Twitter, could be taken into account when reported to us. This is how our current off-service policy works in the vast majority of changes and will not change. Now, here's an even bigger thing, because this has been starting to jump up on Twitch a little bit more often, is that they're now going to enforce against serious offenses that pose a substantial risk to the community, even if they occur entirely off Twitch. So their examples are deadly violence or violent extremism, terrorist activity or recruiting, explicit or credible threats of mass violence, leadership or membership in a known hate group, carrying out or acting as an accomplice to a non-consensual sexual activity, sexual assault, sexual exploitation of children, such as child grooming, which has actually been taking place. There's a couple of prominent streamers out there that have gotten kind of tagged for that piece. Actions that would directly or explicitly compromise the physical safety of the Twitch community, such as threatening violence at a Twitch event, or explicit or credible threats against Twitch, including Twitch staff.
That's insane.
I think this is a good step, but let's see what happens, because we know, like YouTube, they don't care. They don't really enforce a lot of their, you know, when people are getting harassed and stuff like that, like we talked about last week.
They just consider it an open forum. So I mean, they consider it like, it's free speech, you know, just don't look at the comments. That's pretty much their answer to it.
Yep. But I think when it's now crossing the boundaries between, you know, off platform and being that, like you talked about free speech, but now where it's really a patterned harassment.
It's crossing lines now. Yeah.
Like, for instance, like a good example of this is on YouTube with the quartering. The quartering is a YouTube channel that has consistently targeted some very prominent streamers like Zombie Kills. And he made a video disparaging her, basically saying that she pulled the black card, so to speak, to try and get free stuff and whatnot. And she was more going at it going, hey, you know, if you guys are looking for people of color to help review or whatever, I would love to be able to have that opportunity. Okay. Right. And she does a lot for charity work and stuff like that. And he targeted her, and his entire community went from YouTube, as far as watching the video, right over onto Twitter and started just bombing her. And I think that's the stuff that we need to have protected. Yeah. Because it shouldn't be happening on Twitch and then following you over to Twitter and stuff like that. Case in point, like those people that are, you know, with Unileska and Soldier, they brought up the fact is they had people going after sponsors.
Yeah.
You know, that shouldn't be
trying to get them fired.
Yeah.
Trying to get them fired.
They're trying to get them to lose their sponsorship. Like, that's insane.
It is. So the fact is, like Newman was saying in chat, is like, it's a shame that it has to be made into a policy. Good to see that they're doing it. You know, well, policies like this is probably because it happened way more than once. It's kind of like basically the reason why it says caution coffee hot on a coffee cup is because somebody basically decided to ride around with a hot cup of coffee between their legs while driving. And McDonald's got sued about it. Well, granted, they had their coffee too hot for one, but the fact is, you know, that's why policies go into place like this, because it has happened. It has been happening. So we'll see what Twitch does with this. Really do.
It's going to open up a can of worms, but at the same time, it's good. It's good. It's good, but at the same time, I don't know if they have the quote unquote manpower, because there's going to be a lot of there's going to be a lot of claims that are legit. There are going to be a few false claims.
Correct.
So it's going to be a lot of like.
Well, whenever the floodgates are open, you're going to get, the true people who are getting hurt, and then trolls. I mean, it's
all in all,
unfortunate.
I know
it's a given.
It's going to help more than it's going to hurt, and this is
true.
Definitely in a right direction.
And Newman's right. You've got these keyboard warriors that, honestly, is that these people wouldn't act like this in person 90% of the time.
No, not at all.
Hell
no way.
As if they did, they get punched in the face.
That or they'd be like, seriously.
or put exactly in their place.
Yeah. So, I mean, like some of the like child trolls, like if they talk to me like that to my face, granted, I wouldn't punch them in the face, but I'd really consider it.
You would think about it. So we'll see where Twitch goes. I think it's a good first step, as long as there's follow through with it. Because I was seeing some videos on TikTok where people are already blowing up and saying Twitch shouldn't even do this because they're overreaching. They should just stick to their platform, quote unquote, stay in their lane, and be separate platforms and whatnot. But
they're helping their streamers feel safe.
They're protecting their business,
their image and their image. And I think hate is hate and needs to be stamped out. And it's like kind of one of those things. It's like politicians going after Major League Baseball for moving the All-Star game, because Major League Baseball decided, because of the Georgia voting laws, which I know you were talking about the other night, you were kind of been looking into it. It's just that they felt that, some of what is going into these laws is more on the voter suppression side, which the mayor of Atlanta has actually said, hey, some of this stuff isn't exactly the greatest, especially for those that live in Atlanta, but they moved the game out. They're a business. They're allowed to do that if they feel it's in their best interest for their fans and everything to move it. Granted, it's going to Coors Field, which I hate, because then I can't be there for it. They're in Colorado.
You need to. They're taking care of their product, which is
their product, exactly.
So
and it's a business. That's what they got to do.
Taking care of people, like holy cow, people, like be nice.
That's what most companies don't do. They don't protect people,
right?
Kindness. They use people for gain.
But then
that's what most companies do.
You also have to think about it. All of those people that are complaining about Twitch selling out is probably because those are the people that are trolling.
Correct.
So I mean,
it's the
honestly, ones that really complain about it. Like, come on, man, you got to think. Obviously, okay, so you don't like it because you're trolling people. Yeah,
you're probably over on Twitter harassing people, and and to your point, Jerry, we were kind of talking about this beforehand. Is I hope that they do it both ways, though. Is that if you have a Twitch streamer that is on their show and they happen to harass one of the people in chat, and then they find out, hey, they're on Twitter and they're harassing them on Twitter. I hope it swings both ways.
Yes.
Really
needs to. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It needs to, because like we've all talked about for weeks and weeks and weeks, going back to the summer of Black Lives Matter, talking about, stop Asian hate, is just stop the hate.
Yeah.
Be better.
I mean, yeah, it's just, it's unfortunate to where we are now, because if you really think about it, why are you taking the time to sign up on Twitch, go to a channel, and literally just keep typing just enjoy the channel? Why waste your time? It's stupid.
If you don't like the channel, just don't watch the channel.
Watch it.
Go to another channel that you will enjoy.
You will enjoy it.
Yeah, it sucks, man. I mean, we're at a weird time, and
it's not.
I think there's only 3 channels out there to go to.
Yeah,
it's honestly, I was about to say it's like the whole Howard Stern approach, where but that was back in the day when you had like.
What do you mean by Howard Stern approach?
No,
explain that to me.
What is he going to say?
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah, no.
What is he going to do?
I just honestly don't understand what you're referring to.
No, because there's a few streamers that I've watched before where they are the, I guess, anti-streamer, where they're like, they're always like talking smack on people or talking smack. Like it's part of their stick.
Their niche. Yeah.
Their niche. Their stick.
Part of their bit.
It's their bit, and I've talked to a couple of them that are that are not, and they're like, oh yeah, like it's just a persona.
It's like, okay, so I get where he's calling about. It was Howard Stern in the beginning before he shifted to his current phase where he's actually a super nice guy.
Yes,
it was
that is the beginning, the shock jock era.
The shock
it's
jock.
like you only had that or play, like had hit one or two. You weren't like multiple. Like there's like I can't listen to that because I don't like it, but then I can't listen to this because there's too much shock jocking going on. Here we're on Twitch, we have like, hey, I want to watch something about, I don't know what's on it, like Fortnite. Let me watch a Fortnite streamer. I don't like this person, I'm gonna go to the next Fortnite streamer.
Just keep on
I'll go through like 50 of them before you can go to one of them. Like, oh hey, I like this guy. The choice is there, and you don't have to spread that hate, spread that love, spread that kindness, and be like, let's look at help those smaller.
Let's be better.
Well.
Let's change.
Let's be better.
So with that in mind, I just have a question for the three of you. So like, let's say that the people that can't let go, that can't move to another one, is they kind of that their reasoning is because they feel they need to stick around to help end it. How would you agree or disagree with that? Because like they say, like with the Howard Stern, like there's so much shock, there's so much hate or whatever, but what you end up saying is ignore the hate, don't do anything about it.
No, you can't.
No, what I'm saying is you need to speak up against it.
Yeah, because the thing with Howard Stern, he did things on radio and interviews for shock value. Yeah. He didn't go at anybody. He just did him.
We were just on the topic of Howard, but like any other one that's out there that's toxic as hell. But if the general type of thing is to move to another thing that you enjoy watching, let's talk about Dr. Why shouldn't somebody stick around and defend people? Why shouldn't they?
I mean, look at what Dr. Disrespected, right? We all disagreed with what he did at E3 that we think led to a Twitch ban. Is something like that is, if you've got somebody that is giving that much hate and stuff like that, why continue to give them the stream count to give them a platform for the hate? Yes, you're going to be, if you're talking about it in chat going, well, blah, 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 right? But in the end, you're helping their numbers. You're giving them the attention they want. I think what you need to do is you need to say, hey, you know what? We're going to cast them out. If you've got hate speech, you're anti-Semitic, whatever it is, right? We're going to throw you in the corner. We're going to put baby in the corner, except for you're not going to get your final dance with Patrick Swayze, because we're going to ignore you. And we're going to go support the people that are speaking up, speaking on behalf of it. Right?
So how would you suggest those people that are kind of standing up, but a way to bring people with them to help reduce those numbers rather than it being the one person?
That's really hard, because the second a lot of streamers have that rule, if you start self-promoting your channel, you will get banned from their channel or kicked out, kicked out of the stream. So it's kind of hard to really promote.
Don't promote somebody else, but you could promote to leave.
Yeah, you could do that. And I would see, though, that those people that are spewing that hate are probably going to quickly ban those people really quick if they're speaking out against their channel. That's why I think if you don't like somebody and what they're talking about, just leave. Don't even give them the time of day.
Yeah, it's really got to be a community thing. Like like if there's someone who's just promoting hate or trolling, I think we need to be better about getting the word out there and like, hey, don't follow this dude. Don't follow this person.
Would you say maybe it's healthier to be like a one-off? You're in a toxic show, you comment saying like, oh my God, this is so toxic for my opinion, I'm going to leave, and just leave. But that way it's somebody identifying and maybe shedding a light to people that's not noticing that it's very toxic.
So I mean, that's the other thing. More people need to be vocal about it.
It's not going to be solved like instantly
overnight.
No.
Obviously,
nothing ever is.
Like that's why I'm hopeful with these new orders that Twitch are going to.
We'll see.
Yeah, these new policies.
Exactly.
It's a step forward, and this is it's going to be a long road. but hopefully, they follow through and it's a start.
Yeah, it's definitely, this is definitely a starting point, and it's just one of those things where it's like, it's not going to be solved overnight, and people are still going to troll. It's not going to stop.
That's
never ending. Never ending.
Unless you get rid of social media, it's never.
Yeah, unless you get rid of social media, or you have people be held accountable and responsible for
accountability.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's where we're at that crossroads where we're trying to find how to filter them out, because it's too broad. They have too much freedom if they're going to promote so much of that hate or keep trolling. Like
it's just definitely like calling them out on it. That's all it is. You have to just constantly call them out on it. Because if you ban like one Twitch, they'll just make a new account. They'll just make a new account in like 50 minutes, like less than 5 minutes, less than a minute. Boom, hey, back at it. You just have to just constantly, hey, you know what? Like, I don't need that. Like, people just need to respect someone else's opinion. And just say, hey, you know what? That's my opinion.
So to all the listeners, just overall, just be better. Just be kind.
Just be better. Like we are better than this. So this is 2021.
Like I say at the end of every show.
Yeah,
and we honestly,
we are almost out of a major pandemic.
Yeah.
I mean,
we got to come together.
30 years old, but it still is true right now, is be excellent to each other. And I wish more people would listen to what Bill and Ted's message was in that movie, to be excellent to each other. So talking about being excellent, let's talk about two communities right now that are kind of trying to come together for their gaming population. So first off, Nintendo has always been about, that couch co-op and multiplayer and stuff like that. So they kind of, along with Namco, stealth released Pac-Man 99 this week, which is in the same vein of Tetris 99 and Mario 35. I played some rounds of it last night. It is old school Pac-Man.
Oh my god!
Did you have to buy it, or was it free?
No, it's free with your Switch Online. With Switch Online.
Cool. Okay.
So how the game plays out though is that you have like a combination of Pac-Man Championship Edition and old school Pac-Man. So where you're trying to get all your pellets, get the fruit to move on to the next regeneration, everything. You have little ghosts, like outlines that show up that you go, if you eat them, it'll turn into ghost trains, kind of like in Pac-Man Championship Edition. But as the other players are progressing through, all of a sudden you'll have these little Pac-Man show up on yours that if you run over them, it slows you down.
Wow. It
was okay. It's not as good as Tetris 99 or Mario 35. It's fun from a Pokemon or from a Pac-Man perspective, but overall, it was okay. I don't see myself going and playing it all the time like I would back in the day, like Pac-Man Championship Edition.
It just Pac-Man. It had its run. It had a good time, but it just doesn't seem like
some of those games need to stay just arcades.
Yeah,
they're beloved as arcades. They should stay. Yeah.
Stay retro.
Yeah.
But just it doesn't have that impact as like Tetris or Mario.
Yeah.
Like it's
hey, really quick, Nintendo did also announce digitally you can buy Star Wars Republic Commando as well. It came out.
I've heard it's having some little issues on the Switch versus the other consoles.
Oh, I'm not going to buy it digitally, but limitedrungames.com is doing a physical release. I think I'm going to pre-order it.
I didn't. It was fun, but it's not something that was really playable for me back there. Physical, right? Now talking about releases coming up, Arcane Studios, which is a studio within the Bethesda subset of studios that's now recently joined Microsoft. They did announce they are delaying Deathloop again and pushing it further back.
They've been having a lot of problems with that game.
But I think with that though is I think a reason that a lot of these studios are delaying these games is because they don't want another Cyberpunk. Especially in the day and age of COVID, right? If you need to push it back, you're seeing the time. You don't want the Cyberpunk or Halo effect. Because look at how bad Halo Infinite, when they revealed that and it was like it got pushed back an entire year.
And but that shows that maybe these studios are finally getting the hint that the gamers we're fine with the delays. Finish the game.
Yeah, give us a good product.
Because I think that's the one good thing that came out of Cyberpunk is everybody was hyped. It had potential, but it was rushed.
Speaking of finishing games, there has been some rumors going around, and that Microsoft is potentially going to be working with Kojima. Now, what's lent some credibility to this, and everybody's been pointing out this, is that anytime Phil Spencer does kind of an interview about something that's coming up, there's something in the background that's always hinting at it. So if you look back here, back by the Xbox logo, you have...
That's the logo, the figure logo.
Luden's statue that represents Kojima Productions. So it would not surprise me that... and you got to think, too, let's look up here in the top right-hand corner, right? They have Ori on Switch. That is something they've been working with. They worked with Nintendo on to bring both Oris to the Switch. So it wouldn't surprise me that Kojima, for his next project, is going to be going to Xbox. Now, the thing with that being said, though, is he's going to need a new game engine. Because you know for a fact, PlayStation and Guerrilla will not let the Decima engine go over to Xbox.
No way.
No how. That is a built in-house Guerrilla tool that they basically let Kojima use for Death Stranding. So I honestly think this is a good thing for Kojima, though, because it could give him added tools to make games, especially if he uses the Azure cloud, which a lot of the games for Xbox are utilizing now. It gives him more horsepower to make some games that necessarily aren't available to him. So it'll be interesting to see if that comes to fruition and what game he does make. Now let's talk about PlayStation and Xbox, because a lot of people are upset about MLB The Show is going to be going Xbox, but it's also going to be going Game Pass day one.
Oh,
wow. Okay.
So here's the things what people need to understand about MLB The Show. Okay, that license has been held by Sony Santa Monica for quite a while as the exclusive publisher of first party baseball games. Granted, they put out RBI Baseball, and as far as an official game, but that came directly from MLB. Major League Baseball basically told Sony that, hey, if you want to keep this license going forward, you need to put the game out on Xbox. Plain and simple. Because I can tell you right now, if Sony didn't let that happen, we would be having the rise of like a 2K versus triple play baseball type of thing that we had back, late 90s, early 2000s. And this was probably Major League Baseball's call to say, hey, this is what it is, because Sony's come out and said, well, it was the license holders, right. That's what they wanted to do. Well, who cares? Okay. So this is what I say to all the console warriors, that still keep this console war BS going, is that who cares? This gives added revenue to Sony Santa Monica, or to Sony, and San Diego studio rather, to make better games.
Yeah.
It gives them more revenue. It gives more people the chance to play the game. And we don't know quite for sure yet, but it may have cross-platform play to where I can play against people on Xbox, Xbox can play against people on PlayStation, which would be fantastic, because I think we absolutely have to have cross-platform.
That's why
going forward.
That just opens up the community even more.
And I think it's funny is that you also have Zombie Army 4 going to Game Pass, and that is actually the free game for PlayStation Plus this month.
Yeah.
It's not even the community, but it's just the fact that, like, once we start getting cross-platform, this whole quote-unquote console war thing is going to
finally be over.
Kind of dissolve itself.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like, hey, you know what? It doesn't matter if I'm an Xbox person. It doesn't matter if I'm a PlayStation person.
Correct.
You know, you'll be able to play games versus each other.
Yeah. Oops. Now, granted, that being said, if they're going to do a cross-platform game, just make sure it's up to snuff, because we've demoed Apex Legends.
Yes,
it works really great for cross-platform between PC, or rather between Xbox and PlayStation. But Switch folks are getting handed to them because of the graphics and everything like that. So, so speaking of games like Apex Legends and stuff like that, you know, we haven't really had a chance to talk about this in a couple weeks because we've had guests and whatnot. So, Jason, what you been playing?
Oh, like I said previously, nothing new has been coming out. Oh, actually, let me rephrase that. I've gotten back into some classic Blizzard games, and yeah, I revitalized.
Like how classic?
No, not like.
Are we talking World of Warcraft?
No, sir. How dare you? I did play it when it came out. Vanilla WoW.
Vanilla WoW.
Vanilla WoW
expansion. But anyways, no, I'm jumping back on to StarCraft a little bit, just for fun.
Nice. Oh, sweet!
But I am doing the new season of Diablo 3, because I am anticipating Diablo 4. So
didn't they announce Diablo.
It? No, it's just being
announced.
Okay,
announced, but it's like
right now?
they're like they're bringing out more characters.
Oh,
like
okay.
slowly putting stuff out.
Yeah.
The season of Diablo is like, man, I want to get back into it again. So I'm doing this season with a few other people. Hardcore, always. Only way to play Diablo 3. Doing that, obviously Final Fantasy, Destiny 2, or Division 2, I'm sorry. Division 2.
Stop getting my hopes up with Destiny 2, dude.
I know. I saw it for $5 today, and I was like, wait, hold on.
I could really use some regular players with me rather than LFG all the time.
So,
honestly, you know what? With as much as they've changed it, it's hard to get back to.
Yeah, putting those in. Trying to finish off Phoenix Wright. I'm on the second one, Justice for All.
Nice.
Or no, Justice for All right now, and like I'm contemplating finishing up some backlog.
Nice.
But been watching a lot more shows. I don't know, man. Sekiro just I want to get back, like, listen to me. Like, I really want to get back into it. The game is great. It's just
Jerry's like, nope.
I am just
I feel the exact same way. I just can't do it.
Like, no, I feel that if
I
put
anticipate the French,
and not get anywhere. I
anticipate the frustration where I just can't physically put the I can't put the disc in. I can't do it.
I can't remember if we ever asked you this, but if you had to choose between Sekiro or Dark Souls, which would you go with?
Sekiro.
Really?
Just honestly, because I'm more of a samurai guy, and
okay,
I do love the story. And if I can only dedicate myself to that game, I would feel better about doing Sekiro. What?
Jason said Dark Souls.
Okay.
I'd probably go Dark Souls.
I know some people that would say Bloodborne.
Oh yeah.
No, it's a Souls game. So,
it's Souls game,
Theo, what you been playing?
I've been playing decent amount of Destiny. I've been not as much, I guess, because the season's been kind of getting into a lull, and I've got the tournament coming up in in a few weeks, so I need to actually do things with that.
Nice.
And I've been
good luck, by the way.
I've been enjoying Apex, even though most of the time I suck. But
you don't suck.
The other night was certainly fun when
you were pretty
we
epic.
all split up.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then it got down to Matt died right away.
We didn't have a choice. We everybody jumped in with us.
Jerry dies along the way. I'm dying in the circle running because it's super fast and faster than me.
Well,
make it by a hair, make it to the second place team, full team against me, and take one out.
We got War Games starting. We got War Games starting in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
I'm interested
event
to see
rotation.
with all those events how that's gonna play out with like some.
Dude, I'm looking forward to automatic regen, like
for the shield regen.
Shields,
yeah,
but also you get a basically a drop back in for free. You don't have to basically.
Yeah, that
have
one's a
somebody come back
different
and register.
event
Sweet.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a free
Yeah.
respawn.
So,
Yeah, I'm excited. This is gonna be fun.
so Jerry.
Other than Apex, I have been hitting Final Fantasy VII.
Yes,
A little
Newman,
bit
he has been
between
playing.
between my time and
You can check his PlayStation log.
yeah, but mainly Final Fantasy VII. But when I get when I'm like getting a little tired of it, I've been hitting Miles Morales because I haven't been able to play it. So I've been slowly playing
So
that.
good.
Yeah, it's so good.
I
love it.
honestly would play. I should play Miles Morales more, or even any of the Spider-Man, because I suck at them royally.
They're fantastic.
I need practice, like especially with the swinging mechanic. I'm so bad. I hit buildings
Really?
so easily.
Oh man, dude,
even though
once you
most
get
of the time
hang
it
of
automatically
it's
makes
so
you run
much
on the
fun.
building, I still fail at that shit.
Oh, once you get the hang of it, man, it's so much fun. Yeah. But yeah, that's mostly what I've been. What about you, Matt? Other than Apex, of course.
Other than Apex, of course, Animal Crossing.
Some MTG. He's finally into MTG again.
Yes.
Oh
MTG
yeah,
Arena.
you have been playing. You guys have been playing
no.
Magic. Yeah.
Oh no.
So, yes, Newman.
Jerry and Jason come to the dark side.
Dude, I don't
can't
want
do
to
it.
do it.
Can't do it.
MTG.
I can't get
It's
back into.
totally free. You only choose to pay for things.
No, I
MTG
know.
Arena,
I know.
watch on iPad.
I play it on PC. I used to play it on PC, and I can't, man. Like it's just one of those things where the meta game is just too.
No, actually,
No, it's not.
I
I
have
go way off of meta because Matt does his mills.
I built my
and that's
decks
not
the way
meta.
I used to. You know, I have a mill deck, I have an elf deck, I have a green-white enchantment, a black-white enchantment like I used to, and I'm building them the way I used
I have
to.
no
years
idea
ago.
what you're saying. I could not start. I
right.
can't. I'll be
White
a foot out of water for like 3 years.
Always good. Blue Mill,
But
all that other stuff is just.
I also fired up Uncharted Lost Legacy, and I'm playing through Lost Legacy. Now I'm gonna preface it is because I never finished the game because back when it came out, it was fresh off of Uncharted 4, and I had done the whole playthrough 1 through 4, and I just couldn't get into the game because Nathan Drake is my character, is my guy. It's just like Aloy with Horizon.
I immediately played it right after. I wanted more Uncharted.
I did want more Uncharted, but it wasn't.
I kind of felt Lost Legacy kind of started a little slow. Like it started slow. I just didn't like. I didn't care for it. But here's the thing: is being removed from running through Uncharted for a while. I love the game. I love the banner between Chloe and Nadine. The same type of exploring mechanics. The game is gorgeous.
Because it's all set with the Uncharted 4 engine. So, I mean, it runs great.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So, just playing through that and working on some Sackboy.
Nice.
I need to get back into Sackboy.
I am halfway through the third world now.
Oh, sick. I got to get back into that too, but I'm going to.
Yep.
So
soon you will, Jason.
Right? I'm not in a rush.
Yeah.
I'm not in a rush. There's only 2 games I'm waiting for. And both those games are not out yet.
So speaking of Sackboy, I just want to give a shout out to my aunt who decided that Sackboy is easier than Astro's Playroom.
How the heck is Sackboy easier than Astro's
Really?
Playroom?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, good on her for actually trying to play it, but I mean, yeah, it was interesting that was the one that was easier for her.
That's a bold statement. Not bad.
It is a bold statement. So, so to everyone that's come in, watch the show tonight, and for those that are listening when the podcast drops, I want to thank you guys all for crashing game night with us tonight. As always, we couldn't do this without you guys, so thank you for your support. On that, don't forget to subscribe to us on the platform of your preference, as well as crashinggamenight.com. Check out the articles. You can go right over the website, look at our podcast player, and you can find the platform of your choice right there as well, right through the player. And as always, guys, I want to say, everyone, be excellent to each other. Stay frosty.
That is right. With the frost, everyone, all my nerds, please, everyone, listen up. The Asian hate is still out there. Black Lives Matter is still out there. Show your support. This has been a trying time, and it feels like it's getting worse. We need to do better. So show your support, please. And just be kind, be courteous, show some compassion, and help someone out when you can, or lend, like as they say, lend a helping hand. And be safe out there, guys. And thank you, all of my nerds, for listening with us and watching us. And I hope you have a wonderful week, wonderful month, wonderful life. Enjoy.
As always, please stay. We are at the end. We are at the end game of all this vaccinations. I think it's going to be opening to public very, very soon. So
Colorado's open to public.
Yeah. So I mean, just check with your local area, see if you are able to get the vaccine. Either the Johnson & Johnson, the Moderna, the Pfizer, any of them are great. We are at the end goal. We are there. It is so close. Things are opening back up because we are starting to get vaccinated. So please get vaccinated. Take that time. Social distance still wear a mask, still wash your hands as much as possible. Just because you are vaccinated partially does not mean that you can still get it. So just make sure you are like as tip top as possible. And as always, please be nice, be kind to each other. As Mud says, just it's so much easier if you don't ruin someone else's day. So much easier. Like think of it in the other shoe. Yeah, think of it in the other shoe, man. Like if you get upset at something that could have been easily avoided. Mm-hmm. It's easier to what is the saying? It's it takes more effort to, or it's easier to smile than it is to get mad or something. I don't know. There's an idiom. There's an idiom out there.
You mean it takes more muscles to frown than it is to smile?
That's the one. Thank
you.
There you
go. Neiman says it takes effort to be an asshole. Yep, pretty much.
it takes effort to be an asshole.
Well, just like people say, it takes more effort to lie than to tell the truth too, or something like that. Mm-hmm. But with that said, thanks guys for listening. Thanks guys for watching. TTFN. Ta-ta for now.
Good night, everybody.